Next tonight, the family of Dorset teenager Gaia Pope has launched a campaign calling for action to prevent similar deaths in future. The 19-year-old went missing in 2017. Her body was found 11 days later near Swanage. Gaia's family are demanding changes in policing, health and social care. An inquest earlier this year found the teenager's mental health and a lack of medical aftercare probably caused or contributed to her death. In a moment, we'll be hearing from Gaia's cousin about the family's campaign. But first, Bryony Leyland with a reminder of Gaia's story.
This was Gaia Pope singing with her twin sister. Her loss devastated her family.
She was fun-loving and passionate and captivating.
Gaia was 19 when she went missing from Swanage on the 7th of November 2017. Hundreds of local people joined the search for her. Her body was found 11 days later in undergrowth on the cliff tops near the town. A post-mortem examination concluded she'd died of hypothermia. Her family fought for the wide-ranging inquest that revealed the NHS and Dorset Police missed many opportunities to help Gaia. One of the biggest challenges in Gaia's life was her severe epilepsy.
The complexity of her epilepsy and her mental health was not recognised by the professionals.
Gaia was also diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder after revealing she'd been raped when she was 16. The allegation was investigated, but there was no prosecution by Dorset Police. Her family say that was the trigger for her mental health struggles, and that she was feeling anxious about her alleged rapist's imminent release from prison for other sexual offences. The inquest heard that opportunities to quickly deploy search teams on the ground were missed, and a search coordinator altered search records retrospectively. Dorset Police have accepted there were several failures made in the search for Gaia, but the inquest jury found the force's handling of the case had not caused or contributed to her death. The inquest concluded Gaia's mental health and a lack of medical aftercare probably caused or contributed to her death. Dorset Healthcare has said measures have been put in place to address issues, but Gaia's family are now calling for more changes to policing, health and social care as they work to prevent future deaths. Bryony Leyland, BBC South Today.
A short while ago, I spoke to Gaia Pope's cousin, Marienna, and I asked what's driving the family to continue so forcefully demanding change in her memory.
We are still searching for justice for Gaia, but importantly also justice for all of those left behind who are still coming up against the same challenges and being failed in very much the same way that she was. The manifesto that we've developed since, we learned so much through the course of the inquest, we've been working on with leading human rights organisations and that we unveiled last night, is kind of a rundown of what's driving us. And absolutely on the top of that list is what we're calling the Gaia principle. We're calling on all police forces to introduce this to make sure that serious sex offences are being investigated properly, that it's checked whether similar allegations have been made against that perpetrator, and those cases are being presented as a whole to the Crown Prosecution Service. We don't want to see one more rape case like Gaia's collapse because a he said, they said was presented by the police as a he said, she said.
Of course, the police and the NHS say they have learned lessons. You're not convinced?
No, we're not convinced. One of the biggest struggles through the inquest was getting the topic of sexual violence onto the table in the first place. That was a real struggle in so many ways that have been really difficult for us. The inquest replicated many of the same failings that we saw in services before Gaia's death. I have not heard any significant statement from either the Healthcare Trust or Dorset Police that's focused on what to us is the actual issue, which is a systemic, consistent and deeply worrying failure to properly support and protect victims of sexual violence.
And you have two other demands as a family. We're calling them demands, aren't we? What are they?
So I guess two of the others that I would really pick out, one is sustainable funding for the accredited rape crisis centres that provide life-saving support and advocacy for survivors like Gaia. In recent years, 8 in 10 of these centres have been forced to cut services or close their doors because they're not being funded properly, and it's survivors like Gaia who are paying the price, in her case, the ultimate price. The other one I would highlight is, given what I just explained about the inquest, accountability. The inquest into Gaia's death produced quite an unprecedented number of recommendations for the prevention of future deaths, but actually following those through is essentially optional at the moment, which, for us just seems like a scandal and a huge waste of public money. There is a lot more to the manifesto. It spans issues around mental health and social care as well, and it's available in full on our website, justiceforgaia.com, where people can also click Take Action to support the campaign.
Marienna Pope Weideman there. Well, a spokesman...